At his peak, Ronaldo was unplayable. He wasn't just breaking records, he was breaking logic.
Here he comes. He struck him well. Oh my word, what a goal!
Inside, he's beaten the defence, he draws Valdez! Cristiano Ronaldo!
But what if I told you he didn't peak once, not even twice? Cristiano Ronaldo reached 3 completely different levels, each time evolving into something football had never seen before. This is not a story of a single prime. It's the story of a man who ruled 3 different eras of football.
Cristiano Ronaldo, he's got Van Nistelrooy with him and Rooney. Oh, what a goal that is! Cristiano Ronaldo, an absolute howitzer.
Let's start with 2008, the year Cristiano Ronaldo went from world-class talent to absolute phenomenon. This was the season that changed everything. The flashy winger who arrived at Manchester United as a skinny teenager with too many tricks. He was gone. What remained was something far more dangerous. A player who could still embarrass defenders with skill, but now had the end product to back it up. The numbers tell part of the story. 31 goals in 34 Premier League games. At the time, that tied the all-time scoring record in England's top flight. Let that sink in. A winger matching records set by pure strikers. Add 8 Champions League goals to that, and you're looking at over 40 goals from someone playing out wide. That simply wasn't done in modern football. Wingers didn't score like that. But Ronaldo wasn't a normal winger anymore. What made 2008 Ronaldo so special was his unpredictability. He was still thin, still had that wild energy, but defenders had absolutely no answer for him. His diagonal runs from the left wing cut through backlines like a knife. His stepovers weren't just flashy, they genuinely fooled people. And his long-range shooting, forget about it. That free kick against Arsenal, like 40 yards out, the knuckleball technique that left Manuel Almunia frozen. Then that 30-yard free kick against Portsmouth that is still replayed today. Pure technique, pure power, and that iconic celebration. But if you want to talk about iconic moments, we have to mention that header in the Champions League final. Manchester United versus Chelsea in Moscow. Ronaldo rising above everyone, hanging in the air like gravity didn't apply to him, and powering a header past Petr Cech. United would eventually win on penalties, but that goal announced Ronaldo's arrival on the biggest stage. Here's what people forget. This wasn't just about individual brilliance. Ronaldo literally changed how Manchester United played. Sir Alex Ferguson built the entire transition game around his speed and movement. While Wayne Rooney and Carlos Tevez rotated roles in attack, Ronaldo was the constant, the weapon that terrified every opponent. He scored in every single Champions League knockout round except one that season. That's not luck, that's consistency at the highest level. And when the Ballon d'Or voting came around, he didn't just win, he obliterated the competition by a record margin. The football world had realized something important. Cristiano Ronaldo wasn't just talented anymore, he was becoming inevitable. So was this his peak? Well, 2008. Ronaldo was explosive, unpredictable, and devastating. He was the complete attacking threat. But remember, he was still learning, still evolving. The question is, would his later versions be even better? If 2008 was the year Ronaldo announced himself to the world, then 2014 was the year he became statistically undeniable. This wasn't just a player having a great season. This was a footballer operating at a level that made the sport feel unfair. In 2014, Cristiano Ronaldo turned into a literal scoring machine. Let's start with the biggest one. 17 goals in a single Champions League campaign. That's the most ever scored by any player in any season in the history of the competition. And here's the scary part. He broke the record before the final was even played. By the time Real Madrid were preparing for Lisbon, Ronaldo had already shattered the scoring record in a way we may never see again. And it wasn't like these goals came in easy moments. They came in big games against serious teams. A hat trick against Galatasaray to open the group stage. 2 goals against Juventus, a team that would later dominate Serie A for a decade. Then in the knockouts, he smashed Schalke. He scored against Dortmund as well. Every round, the same story. Defenders trying to figure out how to stop him and failing over and over again. Even in La Liga, where the schedule is brutal and the pressure never drops, Ronaldo still delivered 31 goals in 30 matches. And remember, he missed several games due to injuries. If he had stayed fully fit, he might have hit 40 league goals again. But what makes this season special isn't just the numbers. It's how he got them. Because in 2014, Ronaldo was physically the most terrifying player. Real Madrid's own own training data from that period shows two things. He recorded some of the highest vertical jumps they had ever measured. He hit some of the fastest sprint speeds in the squad. This was the version of Ronaldo who could outjump center backs, outrun fullbacks, and overpower almost anyone in a duel. If you asked defenders at the time, many described him the same way: physically impossible to stop. And yet, he wasn't just an athlete. This was the last year he truly played as some sort of a winger. He still had his dribbling. He still cut inside from the left to bury long shots. He still drove at defenders, but he also added the movement of a striker, the efficiency of a poacher, and the finishing of a world-class 9. This was the season where everything clicked. Ronaldo won the Ballon d'Or for breaking multiple scoring records, but even that individual award didn't tell the full story. In 2014, Cristiano Ronaldo didn't just dominate football, he redefined what dominance looked like. If the early part of Ronaldo's career was about becoming unstoppable, then 2016 to 2018 was about becoming inevitable. This era wasn't defined by stepovers or long-range solo runs, it was defined by something far more dangerous: control of space, control of timing, control of the biggest moments in European football. By this point in his career, Ronaldo had fully transitioned into a pure striker. The dribbling numbers dropped, the flashy sprints became rare, but something else rose dramatically: his movement, his positioning, his ability to appear in the right place at the right time. This version of Ronaldo didn't dominate for 90 minutes. He dominated the 2 or 3 moments that decided the match. And in the Champions League, no one did that better. The transformation truly began in 2016, the year of La Undécima, Real Madrid's 11th Champions League title. People forget how clutch Ronaldo was that season. When Real Madrid went into the second leg against Wolfsburg trailing 2-0 on aggregate, the stadium felt tense, nervous. 1 goal from Wolfsburg and the tie would have been over. But Ronaldo did what Ronaldo does in big moments. He took over the game, a hat trick, single-handedly flipping the entire tie on its head. It was the perfect preview of the monster he was about to become. Later that same season, he steps up to take the decisive penalty in the Champions League final against Atletico Madrid. The pressure is suffocating, but Ronaldo's face doesn't change. 1 run-up, 1 strike, 1 trophy. This was the beginning of the efficiency era. Fewer sprints, but more explosions. Fewer dribbles, but more goals. Ronaldo wasn't wasting energy anymore. Every action had purpose. But then came 2017, and this wasn't a new level. This was another universe. The knockout stages of that Champions League campaign remain one of the greatest individual runs in football history. 10 goals in 5 games, not against weak teams, but against the strongest defensive units of the era. A hat-trick against Bayern Munich in the first leg, a brace in the second leg, another hat-trick against Atletico Madrid in the semi-final, and then a goal against Juventus in the final. These are teams that normally suffocate attackers. Ronaldo sliced through all of them. Real Madrid didn't just win back-to-back Champions League titles. They did it because Ronaldo made the hardest matches look routine. This was the most efficient finisher he had ever been. One-touch finishes, perfect near-post runs, textbook headers. It wasn't luck, it was mastery. Unsurprisingly, he won the Ballon d'Or that year, not because of aesthetics, not because of hype, but because he was delivering when nobody else could. And then 2018 delivered the final chapter of this legendary era, and maybe the most iconic moment of his entire career: the overhead kick against Juventus. Not just a great goal, a goal so perfect it made an entire stadium stand up and applaud him. A goal that symbolized his evolution. Athleticism, timing, positioning, all in a single second. That season, he dominated PSG in the round of 16, scored in every key moment, and helped Real Madrid complete a historic three-peat. 3 Champions League titles in a row. Something modern football wasn't supposed to allow, and Ronaldo was at the center of all of it. From 2016 to 2018, his dribbles went down, but his goals went up. He didn't waste energy, he maximized output. His headers, his leap, his finishing, all at their absolute peak. And mentally, no one was more unshakable. This era cemented him as the greatest Champions League performer ever. No player in history has matched his knockout scoring levels during these years. This wasn't the most athletic Ronaldo, or the most skillful Ronaldo. Ronaldo. This was the ultimate clutch finisher, the version opponents feared the most. And that was Chapter 3 of Cristiano Ronaldo's evolution, the era where he stopped being just a superstar and became the most feared big game player the Champions League has ever seen. Comment down below which version of Ronaldo you think was the best. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like the video and subscribe so you don't miss the next one.